Like, es fue como en la mano, no va a morir todo el tiempo.
You hear everything like this? So you hear me though? You hear everything? Testing, testing. Testing, testing. You can't hear me? I mean, there's echo right here right now. That's why. Okay. Okay, bye.
Que Juancito came back, I haven't seen him. I seen a minivan parked yesterday outside in front of the house. And he said, oh, he came yesterday. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to stairs. And then I'm dressed for the I mean, I got an appointment today, 7:30. I don't know what time they close. Pero ahorita no me voy a two kids. I got to change that shirt. They say like 2 o'clock, something for the kids.
Testing, testing. Yeah, you said no sound? Oh, no, no, you're talking about your computer though, right? Maybe? Oh, no, no, remember headphones. Take it out and put it in headphones. But it was working yesterday. Wait. What about now? Genesis, what about now? No, no, but I just restarted. So if it says interrupted and comes back on. What do you see right now? Do you see Julian? But you don't hear me though? Oh wait, let me see something. Yeah, I might have to make it public then. Okay. Danny's phone. Yeah. Okay, so it does work though. Okay. It worked? Good, good. Okay. Okay. Okay, bye. Thank you. Okay. So what I say, maybe if you don't mind, because I'm gonna have it live streaming now. So I'll call you and then you just I'll call you and maybe you just put it up. Mute it for now. Okay, okay. You got it. Thank you. Okay, bye. Talk to you later. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
How about now? All right, so just leave it.
Yeah, we came in to separate them from medicine, so they would be run by medicine. Right, so we came in to separate them. Yeah, and then I was supposed to go home, and I never did. I actually didn't know my family. you know it was music because I started that in Anderson.
No, no. If you don't mind. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it's okay. What's that? Yeah. No, no, it's okay.
Excuse me. Oh, wait.
Hi, good morning to everyone, and welcome to our new satellite location in Brooklyn, Betances Health Center, Bushwick. My name is Julia Tien, and I'm the CEO. So first off, I would love to welcome everyone who's come to our grand opening. And I also would like to give special acknowledgement to WellCare, who is going to be sponsoring our afternoon festivities. This marks a huge milestone for Betances. We have, for the past 48 years, have been at only one site on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. 8 years in the making and development, we are now finally here in this beautiful location in Brooklyn. I would like to acknowledge our media, our board members who are present, hospitals who we have affiliations with, community-based organizations and partners, our friends, and our esteemed officials for being here with us today. I would also like to honor the representatives from the Office of the Regional Operations of Health Resource and Services Administration who have joined us today. Cheryl Donald, Deputy Regional Administrator. And we have Dr. Chandi Ghosh, who is our Senior Medical Advisor for Federal Policy. Thank you both for being here with us. So we are also honored that Ms. Wanda Evans, one of the founders and former CEOs for Betances Health Center, will be here today. She's on her way. So we are really looking forward to seeing her. It's not me. I do want to make this note to thank her so much for everything that she has done for Betances. I'm sure that Paul Ramos, who is our founder, and he's there with us in spirit, his family, and all those that were involved in the creation of Betances are really, really happy about this expansion. So before we invite some of our special guests to the podium to say a few words, I wanted to tell our Betances story. So at Betances, our mission and belief is that quality health care is a basic human right. Betances works to enhance the health and well-being of all individuals and families from underserved, ethnically rich communities by providing quality, affordable health care. So these services are delivered in a caring, professional, family-friendly environment that's sensitive to diverse healthcare beliefs and practices. And we encourage the development of strong, healthy lives. So as part of this, we started out in 1970 in a construction trailer. And we graduated from that to a grassroots mobile health unit in 1972. From there, we moved to a room above a pickle factory. And I lived in the neighborhood when I was very young, and I would go to this pickle factory every day, and it's still there, but in a different location. So our first official home was on East Broadway in 1977, which we rented from our very dear colleagues, Henry Street Settlement, who's also represented here today, for $1 a year. Right, those were the good old days. So finally, our primary location at 280 Henry Street on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And now, of course, adding to our Betances family, our Bushwick site. So what many of you may not know is after a conversation with Miss Denise Rosario, where is she? I just wanna. So Miss Rosario is the executive director of the Coalition for Hispanic Family Services and is a leader in this community. It was after having a conversation with her, because she felt that there was a need for more culturally sensitive healthcare in the Bushwick community, especially for Latino families. And after having that conversation with her, Betances decided this is where our next home needed to be. And so with that partnership, and we hope with the partnership of many of our friends and collaborative partners here, that this will be a reality for us, and we celebrate with everyone here. So today, in its 48th year, Betances emerges as a leader in community-based primary care. We serve over 5,000 patients a year, and that was at our Betances site. And our pioneering strategy is to integrate care by merging traditional Western medicine and specialty services with holistic treatments. And so we do that, and our network of services include primary care, pediatric, family, internal medicine, complementary, and alternative care, which includes nutrition and enabling services. We expect to provide primary care here and also behavioral health and women's health. And we plan to serve at least 1,200 patients per year at our Bushwick location. So Betances hopes to continue to grow each year, but we could not have done that without help from HRSA and other funding sources. In 2010, we received a capital development grant from HRSA, which obviously was a stimulus for our health center here. I wish to acknowledge as well the work of my predecessor, Dr. Santos Rivera, and our Betances staff, Anthony Vera and Daniel Ramirez, who were the primary driving forces that made Betances a reality today. In July 2016, we received a generous grant award from the New York City Economic Development Corporation, totaling $350,000 as startup funds from their initiative Community Health Center Expansion Program. And we thank our EDC sponsors who are here for that support, because without them, we could not have started up as we did this period. We also wish to acknowledge the tremendous support we received from Wyckoff Heights Medical Center and to its president and CEO, Ramon Rodriguez, who has been a friend and supporter of Betances over these years when we were opening and thinking we were opening Bushwick. And he's been there throughout the whole time. And we're grateful to have Dr. Ralph Ruggiero, chairman of OBGYN, here with us to celebrate. I also want to thank our dedicated staff who are watching us from our Lower East Side location via live stream. So everyone, please wave and say hello. We have some, hopefully, bagels and donuts over there so that they can kind of join with us in unity here. And they do all the work that really provides that quality health care that we're so proud of giving, and we're so proud of giving here in this community as well. So we remain committed to the principle that nothing should infringe upon an individual's basic right to quality health care. And that is our true belief, and we have been doing that forever. Hi, here is Ms. Wanda Oh, I'm sorry, Evelyn Cruz, I'm sorry. We do want to thank Congresswoman Nydia Velazquez, who's represented by Ms. Evelyn Cruz, for joining us today. Evelyn is the district director, and the Congresswoman has been thoroughly, totally supportive and always behind Betances, and we want to thank you so much for being here. So on that note, and to continue our Betances story, I would like to introduce Dr. Santos Rivera, our chairperson of the board of directors. Dr. Rivera hired me 6 years ago when I started at Betances. He has taught me what dedication, compassion, and patience means to be a true leader. His devotion to Betances spans a lifetime of serving, originally as a board member, and then for 10 years as our executive director and leader for Betances, and now happily to come back to chair our board of directors. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Rivera.
Thank you for that wonderful intro. I was told that I had about 5 minutes to speak, and I said to Roy, but it took 8 years to get here. Anyway, so I will abbreviate my remarks. So I won't welcome everyone who's here. I just want to say hello to the familia in Lower East Side, and to welcome you all here. You know, it's hard to believe that we are finally here. And I want to acknowledge and thank Julia and her executive management team for bringing the project across the finish line. Some of you may know I retired about 1.5 years ago. So it brings me great, great joy to be a part of this celebration and to see this finally come to fruition. I must say that in the course of my journey with this project, there were often times that I felt like the child at the seashore building his little sandcastle. You know, the child is there with the bucket and they fill it and they do another tower, and then a wave comes in and wipes it down. And I will tell you, there were many times where I felt like that child. I could go on and on about all the construction snafus that began right with the foundation. For some of you who don't know, this storefront was here, but the building that we're connected to around the corner had to be built. So with all of the construction snafus, with all the issues that we had in terms of dealing with our federal regulators, HRSA, we exhausted and then some all the extensions. You know, HRSA kept saying, well, what is taking so long? But it's just the nature of the beast, and perhaps no one here understands that better than Dan Ramirez, who really managed the project. There were incredible obstacles. There were the extensions, then there were all kinds of concerns about whether or not we had the capital to handle the opening and the startup costs. So it was really, again, that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what we went through. And that's not even mentioning, you know, the Department of Buildings, the Department of Health, and all the hoops that anyone who builds anything in the city has to jump through. Over the years, and you know, I forgot I have to mention some of those people that I remember who really came to our rescue at different times. Among them is Gina Capra, who was, I'm not exactly sure what her title was, but I believe she was some kind of regional director for the East Coast. Carol Chamberlain, our wonderful project officer, who was at our side, and I could not imagine anyone being more supportive than Carol was. B&B, our builders, and Jason's here from there, that, you know, they were even kind enough at some point when we were dealing with some issues to say, you know, we'll lend you startup money. And luckily, we didn't have to do that because of the generosity of Michelle and the Economic Development Corporation, and she will talk a bit in a while. So, you know, I think it's safe to say that had it not been for the people that I have just mentioned and many others, that we wouldn't be here in Bushwick today. And I will forever be appreciative and grateful because they were most instrumental in this project coming to fruition. When people have asked why Bushwick, you know, over the years, they say, well, why are you going to Bushwick? And I think that Julia had already alluded to some of the reason, and Denise, a former colleague and dear friend, was the first to talk to us about it. But then the state and Chicanes did a study and identified Bushwick as one of those areas that was really lacking in primary care providers. And the last reason was because it's the community where I spent my adolescence. I grew up about 5 or 6 blocks from here, and I have many fond memories of my adolescence here. You know, we spent a lot of time at the Roman Catholic Church, Our Lady of Good Counsel, that's in the community. And I remember Father Haddad, he used to run a teen group that really was, I think, very instrumental in keeping myself and others out of harm's way. It was a great place. I remember walking down Broadway, you know, going to a Greasy Spoon that we used to go to sometimes after Mass, or when we didn't go to church, to come and hang out. So it was really, I have very fond memories. But I also have painful and dark memories. You know, I lived here during the 64 and 68 riots. And, you know, my father, like, you know, a lot of Puerto Ricans at that time, had a little bodeguita. And I remember being up at night worrying if some of the roving gangs were going to break the storefront or burn the building. I remember the helplessness. I remember the rage. I remember the impotence of the community in terms of the conditions that existed at the time. As I thought about what I might say today, and as I reminisced about some of those painful memories, as CNN was competing for my attention, I realized that some of those feelings are not that dissimilar from what I am feeling lately. And it saddens me greatly, but I understand it. When we look at the disparities in terms of wealth and income that exist in our country that have never been greater, when I look at the health indices in our communities as compared to the rest of the nation, it's very distressing. When I see that there are many more racially motivated attacks and crimes that are racially motivated. When I feel that as a country we have regressed to blaming the victim, whether it's Muslims, inner city people, immigrants, we can't forget them, it's just very, very disheartening. And so when I thought about how similar the feelings were, it was very easy to understand. But being the optimist that I am, I do have faith. And it's going to require, if we are to make an impact on what's happening, to going back to the 60s, when, you know, the whole community health delivery model was born, and about empowering the people in our communities. you know, it's one of the cornerstones of the whole community health model, which is education and empowerment. When I was a young professional just starting, we educated people on psychoeducation. We taught them about their mental illness. We helped empower them so they wouldn't feel like they had no control. We helped families cope with the diseases. In the FQHC model, we find ourselves today, again, educating our communities about the chronicities that plague our communities: diabetes, hypertension, asthma, obesity. And so the way that we need to move forward is to really focus on that component of the community health model. We need to partner. I'm not saying I know our resources are thin. We don't have to do it ourselves, but it's about partnering with other community-based organizations. You know, when I was doing my due diligence and meeting with different CBOs, I had the opportunity to meet with some of the folks at Make the Road. And I'm sure many of you have heard of them. They do wonderful, wonderful work. And I think it's particularly relevant in our community where there's so many immigrants. So even though many of us feel frustrated because, you know, it's nonstop. Every day you wake up, you know, I can't wait to put the TV on just to find out what else is happening. But we can't forget our history. We can't forget all that happened after the war on poverty and some of the wonderful things that came from that era. But I want to be perfectly clear. If we don't mobilize, if we don't empower our constituents, we stand to lose everything that we want. And I'm hoping that every one of you will be engaged in some level to try to stem the tide of what's sweeping this country today. So I'm sorry to bring it up at such a joyous, celebratory occasion, but it's something that we can't afford to not do something about, and this is a great forum for that. This clinic really represents one of the highlights in my 43-year career. I'm so proud to be here. I'm no longer like that little boy who sat at Oceanside and was building his sandcastle. I can now sit a little further away from the water, but I can still see the storm that's brewing just offshore. Thank you for your time and thank you for being here.
I would like to introduce our first speaker, Michelle Anand. Michelle is the Senior Project Manager for New York City Economic Development Corporation's Healthcare Initiatives and the lead on the Community Health Center Expansion Program. Michelle has been a consummate professional and an ardent champion for health equity by supporting the healthcare sector of the city. She has been by our side throughout the development of this beautiful center, and we are truly grateful to Michelle and the New York City Economic Development Corporation for all that they have done to help us get this started. Please join me in welcoming Michelle.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle Anand. I lead the Community Health Center Expansion Program at the New York City Economic Development Corporation, and I'm so honored and pleased to be here today for this joyous celebration and this beautiful opening. And I don't think anything I can say can really follow the emotion that Dr. Rivera and Julia just provided, but I hope to say a few words just in commemoration of this great occasion. So on behalf of NYC EDC, I want to thank everyone on the Betances Health Center team for their hard work to bring much needed healthcare services to this community in Bushwick. Betances Health Center has been providing critical healthcare services for over 4 decades and we're so excited that we've been able to help them expand their reach from Manhattan to Brooklyn. We at EDC believe that access to healthcare is a fundamental right and an essential part of any neighborhood. That's why NYC EDC's Community Health Center Expansion Program is supporting the creation of new community health center locations throughout New York City in order to bring much needed care and services to underserved communities throughout the 5 boroughs. And to make sure that these healthcare services are available to anyone, regardless of their ability to pay. We're very excited to take on this effort to create stronger neighborhoods and a more livable city for all New Yorkers. And honored to have been able to support Betances in their operations of this site, both through financial and technical assistance over the past several years. I was reminiscing and remembering wandering this building a while back while it was still an unfinished construction site with Danny Ramirez over there many months ago, and I had to imagine what it would look like. And now being here today, it's so beautiful and exciting and honoring to be able to see it up and running in this beautiful space with all of you here today. We at EDC are hopeful and inspired by the work of the Betances team and look forward to seeing the lasting impact of their services on this community. It's my pleasure to thank and recognize all the other folks in the room that made this happen. And most importantly, I want to congratulate all the folks on the Betances team, including Julia, Danny, Phil, Dr. Rivera, and the rest of all the folks who've made this happen. So thank you so much for all your hard work. I know it's been a long journey, but it's so exciting to see the fruits of your labor. And I'm sure the community will be very honored to have this service in their neighborhood. So thank you again so much.
I have the honor of introducing our next guest speaker, Dr. Ralph Ruggiero. Wyckoff Heights Medical Center has been providing medical care to the Bushwick community and residents throughout Brooklyn and Queens since 1889.
I wasn't there.
So you know that we are the new kids on the block. They have been a welcoming neighbor, and we are so thankful for their support. And we are so pleased to have them with us today. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Ruggiero.
Hi, thank you. Just a few words. First of all, congratulations to Betances. See, Santos, it happened, finally. And at Wyckoff, we used to be the center of healthcare in the community, but now we realize that it's community-based health centers that are true centers. And we're going to be seeing less and less people in the hospital, that's our goal, and more people in these types of settings. And this is really a beautiful setting. Congratulations. Hopefully, we can be good partners. We're going to support you as best we can. You know, hopefully one of my goals will be achieved, and that's we got to do something about some of these disparities that we have in women's health, especially in childbirth, mother-baby stuff. So we'll be around a lot, and hopefully we'll communicate well and do everything we can for you. Congratulations.
So I'd like to say a few words before we bring our next guest. Over the years and throughout her tenure in Congress, Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez has been a staunch supporter of Betances Health Center and a tireless advocate for the underserved communities. She could not be with us today, but she has sent her representative, Ms. Evelyn Cruz, the district director, on her behalf. And we thank you and we welcome you.
Thank you, Julia. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, hi. Congresswoman Velázquez is in Washington, D.C., and like she says, I always get to do all the fun stuff while she's doing serious business in Washington. But I gotta tell you, I was here about 2 weeks ago. Somehow the schedule got confused in the office, and they placed the event for June 26th as opposed to July 26th. So I showed up, as did a few other folks, And I had the privilege of touring the facility. And I shared that with the member, and I said, such a great facility, and it's just like great for Bushwick at a time when more than ever we need to assure that communities of color, underserved communities like ours, get the health care that our residents deserve. And she asked me, who was there? And I said, me and someone else. And she says, Santos wasn't there, and Julia wasn't there. And I said, Congresswoman, there was a mix-up on the schedule. And I showed up on June 26th, and she's like, well, I'm glad you didn't put it on my schedule level, and I would have had your neck for that. So I wanted to share that story because I saw the facility. I think it's wonderful. And on her behalf, I want to greatly commend Dr. Santos Rivera, because I met Dr. Rivera, I would say about 10 years ago, right, when you started the project, or maybe longer. And he came to me with the member of our district office to discuss Betances. We know Betances from the Lower East Side. We also rep the Lower East Side, and it is a phenomenal clinic, a health center. It is a center that not only provides medicine to heal you, but it also is a holistic center. They host numerous activities. They work one-on-one with children, with family, with adults, with folks living with HIV and AIDS. I saw a friend here from the Latino Commission on AIDS, Guillermo, and they've been working together, really bringing the services that our neighborhood needs. We love our White Coat Hospital, of course, but Betances Health Clinic, like all federally health qualified centers, are more like a boutique style center. And when you walk in here, and when our new patients walk in here, it's not just about healthcare. It's about having a one-to-one conversation with a provider that can give them some good guidance, that can also direct them to other social services in our community. And this is the value that federally health qualified centers provide. We do have a challenge ahead of us, and I think Dr. Rivera explained it quite well. You can hear his passion. He feels like we're back to the future of the past. And in some ways, we kind of are. We are working against an administration in Washington, the Trump administration, that, if you know, are doing everything they can to chip away at the Affordable Care Act, are doing everything they can to chip away at one of the important components, that if you have a pre-existing condition, you should still be eligible for qualified health care. And they're doing everything they can. There's a big case that was taken at the Texas courts. We're going to be hearing about it. About 19 states have sued because of the administration's rule to, if you have a medical or serious health condition, that they would not like to cover that under the Affordable Care Act. And what Nydia is saying, and what other activists are saying, everyone deserves the right to a healthy lifestyle. Everyone deserves the right to medicine, and everyone deserves a right to a health center such as Betances. So we're going to continue the good fight. I want to thank all the community-based organizations that are here, or our community board members, our director of the community board, and everyone that makes Bushwick what it is today. I think that we all know, if you lived in this neighborhood, if you come from the 70s or the 80s here in Bushwick, we have come a long way, but there's more to be done. And I think that this center here, it is inspiring, it is awesome. You drive by, it lights up the corner, but more importantly, we're gonna see women, we're gonna see children, we're gonna see men that normally would not get access, or are sometimes even embarrassed to walk into a major hospital for healthcare, that can walk into Betances and get the services that they deserve. So we thank you, and the Congresswoman thanks all of you and EDC for working with Betances, and of course Julia for leading the ship, and our board member for the work that you're doing. So healthcare does matter, quality care is important, and we commend Betances on this special day. Thank you.
Great. Now, we are very honored to have with us today a community leader whose goal is to create an environment conducive to better quality of life for residents of Bushwick. We want to know that you can count on us to help you in terms of making this community a better place and with a lot of quality of care. So please, Welcome City Council Member Antonio Reynosa from District 34.
Thank you for having me. My name is Antonio Reynosa. I'm the local council member of District 34. This health facility now is in my district, so I'm very happy to have you here. I just want to acknowledge, I know I see the community board manager, the community board chair are both here. Thank you so much. And wherever they are, you're in good hands because they are truly about Bushwick. Bushwick first before anything else. And we have a huge crisis mostly in black and brown communities when it comes to primary health. Everyone, for a headache, goes to the emergency room. They have a sprained ankle, emergency room. They have a stomach ache, emergency room. And what we're doing is that the preventative health measures that come about because of primary health go unsought by many people in our communities. But then when we look at the numbers, per capita, I guess, per 1,000 people in a community, it's black and brown communities that have the least amount of primary health care. They don't have the doctors to go to. They don't have the facilities to go to. And if they do go somewhere, it's not a new facility. It's not a facility that you want to walk into and feel that you're going to get quality health care. And that is what Betances is bringing to us here in Bushwick. So I'm extremely grateful to have you here. And I'm going to keep it very short. I just want to say in Spanish very quickly. Es un orgullo poder estar aquí alrededor de tanta gente de Bushwick. Sabemos que en las comunidades afroamericanas y latinas, doctores o salud es algo muy difícil para obtener. Vemos que en nuestras comunidades no hay facilidades como esta y no hay lugares donde la gente puede pasar y ver un doctor primario. Siempre van a cuartos de emergencia en los hospitales y vemos que eso no es la mejor manera de cuidarse uno con su salud. Por eso que estoy feliz que veo a Betances aquí en nuestra comunidad. The last thing I want to say is mental health. Mental health is something that, especially in the Latino community, is never solved for. Because they assume if you go to therapy that you're automatically crazy. And they don't see that mental health and physical health are related and are extremely important. I want to say that recently my father was in the hospital. He thought it was because of a heart issue. They ran all the tests and found out that his heart was perfectly fine. And I told my father, I think his issue is that he might have anxiety, high rates of anxiety, and could possibly have depression. I told that to my father. My father's an old school Dominican man. He doesn't want to talk about mental health care. And I told him, let's just see if it's that, and let's go to a mental health doctor. And for the first time, he was like, I'll do anything, Antonio, I'll go. Because this is the second time I'm in the hospital, they keep telling me nothing's wrong with my heart. And my father finally said yes. And it was a big turning point for me. Because you can teach, that you can't teach your old dog new tricks. But my father, it finally caught up to him, and he says maybe it is a mental health issue. So to have facilities that are also going to provide that are of value as well. And we're not just about physical health. Mental health is just as important. And Betances is also doing that. And again, as a local council member, I didn't want to come empty-handed. You're giving something to us. I want to give you a token of our appreciation. And what I have here is a city council citation. And it's just citing the valuable work that Betances Health Center is doing, or is going to do in Bushwick, and is already doing in other locations like the Lower East Side. And I just want to give this award to the grand opening and welcoming you to Bushwick. So thank you so much. Thank you, y que viva Bushwick.
So community boards play an essential role in improving the quality of life for all New Yorkers. We want to encourage our Bushwick neighbors to take an active role in ensuring their own health. From their presence here today, we know we can count on the leadership of Community Board 4 to help us strive to improve the care for the Bushwick community. Please Join me in welcoming the Chair of Community Board 4, Mr. Robert Camacho.
Dr. Rivera, you told me you had me over there a little bit cheery. I didn't bring nothing written, but what I did bring was from my heart. Broadway was horrendous. Broadway was drugs. Broadway, the Blackout 77 killed everything. Broadway killed our people. We want them to come back. This place here will make people come back. We'll have the economic development that I was looking for when I was a kid and I was going to school and I was working in Byron or working in Shoe King when it was there. Remember Byron? Everyone see that? Okay, that's right. So I know. We're trying to make Broadway like it was. We have schools here and the kids from EBC came to me and says, I want to lighten up Broadway. It's dark, dingy, cold, and it's still old. I thank you guys for coming from Manhattan, but Bushwick is special to me. The services that you guys provide will help also my grandmother's 102 years old, still in Bushwick. So I think I beat you from being in Bushwick, okay? So believe me. And I wasn't home, I was always in the street. But the services that they're gonna provide is gonna help our seniors, help our young kids too. We need our young kids too, like the old people taught me. I was out there doing something I wasn't supposed to do, and they picked me up and says, listen, if you wanna be a leader, this is the way we're gonna lead and help our people forward. So we thank you. We thank you very much for giving the services that we need in Bushwick. And I'm willing to work with you guys to bring more people in here. Broadway could be a bustling place like it used to be. I'm doing a weekend walk, August 5th on a Sunday. And what we're doing is we're closing Broadway down ever. From DeKalb to Hart, for all the service providers, for people, if you guys want a table, let me know. I'm here for you. We're also gonna close on September 9th from Kazoo Place to Green. DOT said I couldn't close all Broadway. I said, guess what? Let's take it step by step. And together we can walk a walk that we need. We need services in Bushwick. Our people are getting pushed away. The rent is killing us. The services that are here are for our people, and we need to tell them that this is here for us. Thank you. I also have my district manager here. Maybe she would like to, she asked me if she wanted to write something for me, and I said, I think I'd rather talk from the heart.
Good morning, everyone. Much better. So I will be very brief as our chairperson just spoke, but I just want to say, wow. You know, we are here at this moment, and it is so important that we just take a second and think about where we are right now. Because this is that moment where something, despite all of the setbacks, despite all of the challenges, this is a project that was realized. And we all know what that's like. And so being here right now, I know most of you know that health is one of the top 3 issues in Bushwick. And we have many residents that don't get access to the care that they need. But now they will have that opportunity. So I want to say congratulations to everyone and thank you for your hard work. Thank
you. So it is my honor to present our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Maria Celerio, who has been with Betances for over 24 years. And talk about community. She is the living essence of community health. There is no one that I know that works harder than she does and cares more about patients. And to me, she is the epitome of what community health is all about. And please welcome Dr. Celerio.
celebrate this event. Thank you, I'm short. So, thank you for helping us celebrate this long-awaited event. I came to Betances to the Lower East Side in 1994. And it was a community that was devastated by HIV. There was drugs, there was poverty, and there was a lack of education and access to care. I learned about community health at the hands of Paul Ramos, who really was an inspirational guy. He really understood what community health was and what a holistic approach to healthcare was. That community, Paul and Wanda, stepped into a Medicaid mill, and they turned it around and turned it into an exceptional place. I was amazed. Needless to say, after all these years, I am impressed by the care that all of the providers, and not just the providers, the staff at Betances, they are committed. All those Christmas with Santa, all those Easter baskets, all those Halloween parties, and it was all there, and it was the staff that did it. So I'm impressed also by the level of care that we provided. Our community there was plagued by all the things that are still rampant in this community and there, but improving. It was, lack of education, lack of access to care, lack of knowledge on how to take care of yourself. And it's the role of the community health center to educate the patient and the community to improve everybody's health. So I am thrilled that we are here, and I know we're going to do the same job here. And I want to introduce Dr. Roden. Come, Dr. Roden. She is our lead physician here. She will be leading the team here, which will consist of behavioral health, OBGYN, and primary care and mental health. So welcome and thank you for
So we have Miss Wanda Evans who has arrived, and I just wanted to really acknowledge her again. As I had mentioned earlier, Wanda is one of the founders and a former CEO for Betances, and we really want to say thank you so much for everything you did for Betances and for being able to be here for this celebration. My final guest speaker, before we do the other formal, wonderful blessing and ribbon cutting, is a patient testimonial. We have with us Tamar Lopez, who has been a patient of Betances Health Center for over 30 years, and we're honored to have her here to share her testimonial.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tamar Lopez, and it is an absolute honor to be here for the grand opening of this new facility. I began as a patient at Betances since I was a little girl, yay high. A couple of the staff members here know me from when my mom would put little braided pigtails in my hair. So in a way, Betances is home. And when I think of Betances, there are three words that come to mind. And that is community, convenience, and care. As I had mentioned before, Betances is home. It is a place that has watched me grow into the woman that I am today. And for me, it's a trusted resource that I use for my healthcare needs. And throughout my years as a patient, I have been able to take care of my general health. I've also been able to learn and make smart decisions about my reproductive health. And I have also been able to learn meditation techniques and self-awareness that has helped with my emotional and mental well-being. And looking back, I am in awe that I have the privilege to access so many resources in one place in the Lower East Side. The people here, the staff at Betances, they are dedicated to the well-being of patients. When I would go in for an appointment or even walk in, I didn't feel like I was just another number or another appointment. I never felt that, I always felt that I mattered as a person. felt that my needs were respected, and I felt listened to and cared for. So I want to thank Betances for being there for the community, and promise not to get emotional, and for being there for this little girl from the Lower East Side. I thank you very much, and I wish you nothing but success, and I hope that the residents here grow to love and appreciate you as much as I do. Thank you.
So that concludes our guest speakers. And now what I'd like to do is invite Reverend Paula Santiago, who's going to give our Bushwick site a blessing and dedication. Please welcome Reverend Santiago.
Good morning. It really is an honor to be here. I am not going to compete about being here for a very long time, but I was the last graduating class of Eastern District, and I remember the riots, and I remember the blackout with Keith. We were talking about that earlier. And I also remember the dedication and the work of the of Betances, Lower East Side. Many of my friends who were squatters back in the 80s received all their medical treatments from Betances, the poets, all the people from the Lower East Side that I know throughout the years. Betances have made a difference because they meet people where they're at, because it's not about just providing services, it's about caring, it's about creating family. And that is so important in our communities because that's how we operate. We operate on a family basis. We are all family, we are all family. Whenever I walk into a room and there is people that I know, we treat each other like family. We have to go to each other, we have to help each other. And this is the same model that is going to be replicated right here in Bushwick. And that is so beautiful, that is so touching, that we are going to bring the Betances family right here, that you guys are going to bring. The Betances family concept right here to Bushwick, where it's needed the most. Many of my friends died of overdoses in these streets many years ago. I think this community changed. I wanted to walk from Marcy Avenue all the way over here because as a teenager, I did that so many times. I don't think I could do that now, but I mean. Anyway, I am not going to take any more of your time. But when we have visionaries who think and do everything in their power to bring a vision of health to a community, that is a blessing. When we have people who come together to bring treatment to a community in need, that is a blessing. And following in the steps of the people who were here before us, I'm passing on the torch to the people who are coming. That is a blessing. But meeting people where they are, the compassion, the care, that is the root of it. That is the base of it. And that is wonderful and beautiful, and that is only God sent. That doesn't come from any other place. And we have green all over the place, right? That's the heart chakra, expanding throughout the community, because love is what's coming to this place. And love is powerful. And our communities will continue to pull forward with the love and the understanding and the meet you where you are mentality that our visionaries have. So bless you. God bless you. The universe, energy bless you, every single one of you, and the community of Bushwick, and the facility, and the doctors, and everyone that is going to welcome everybody walking through those doors. They're going to be welcomed with a big smile, with a non-judgmental approach. That is going to be the beauty. That is the beauty of Bushwick. That's going to be the beauty of this place for generations to come. And it is an honor for me to be here. And I want to thank all of you for being here, for making this possible, because the community needs it. And I know it took a long time to get here, but the fact is that we are here, and that's what's important. And to the people at the Lower East Side, God bless you guys. Continue the work, continue the fight. don't give up, and continue to provide the services our people deserve. God bless you all, and God bless this facility forever. Thank you so much.
So, again, we thank you all for being here. We wish for you to continue with our festivities. We do have an unveiling.
If I could
Yes.
ask you to come this way, Julia, with Santos and Councilmember Reynoso. This is a commemorative plaque to dedicate the opening of the health center today. Antonio, Evelyn, could I ask, Wanda, do you want to step into the picture? Yep. Mr. Camacho?
Yep. That's me. Aquí estoy presente.
Okay, you're a little taller, so maybe we can
A
stand.
little taller. Hey, what that?
Okay, so
I think
if I
it's
can ask
understandable.
Santos and Julia to please unveil the plaque. Hold on. To the top. Now we have an official ribbon cutting outside, so if I could ask you to follow me outside, please. And we have some other members joining us. And if all of the guests could stay inside, there's going to be some apple cider passed around. Sparkling apple
Gracias, Pedro. Déjame saber si necesitas cualquier cosa. ¿Tienes las fotos y todo? Sí.
So I think that's
Y'all have the fans ready. It's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we ask you, here, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes? Yeah, go on.
Ladies and gentlemen, does everyone have a glass for a toast? Good afternoon, everyone.
You're in the way
Buenas
again.
tardes.
It's okay.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. The celebration's not over yet. I'm Denise Rosario. I'm the Executive Director of the Coalition for Hispanic Family Services. We've been serving the Bushwick community for the last 28 years. And I can't help but be teary-eyed to hear and to have heard all of the words that were shared by my colleagues and friends on the view and the vision of Paul Ramos, such a wonderful leader on the Lower East Side. Took on the importance of culture and family and community and brought it into this wonderful health center. It means so much for this community that is a community in transition because it reminds us as providers, as health providers of services to families in need of our purpose. It affirms who we are culturally and racially. It affirms the importance of family and community, and at a time like this, we need places like Betances. And so I asked you to raise your glasses up. It is with great orgullo, with great pride, that I say to Betances Health Center Bushwick, bienvenidos.
So on that note, please enjoy the rest of the afternoon and help yourself to some refreshments. We also have people who would like to share the tour with you. So if anyone's interested in seeing our wonderful inside, please just come to the front and we'll have a quick tour. Right here, Tina, our Director for Marketing, to give you a grand tour.
told me not to put it on. You want me to give your bag back?
The first tour has been completed, so if anybody else wants to take a tour of the new site, please see Denise Hernandez, the site manager, right here. Thank you. And please take some food. All the food has been served.